Of course, as Lee, you were out today with the Public Enterprises Minister as he laid these charges. We've been watching the public spat almost, I think, denigrate to the point that it's at today. But the minister feels that he's got good reason to take this matter before the police. What evidence does he have?
Certainly, of course. I think the sentiments that were spoken by Julius Malema outside the State Capture Commission of Inquiry last week was really the straw that broke the camel's back, you could say. I mean, we've been hearing this sustained criticism, attack on the Public Enterprises Minister since around July this year, if not before. And so there's just a barrage of statements that have been made, calling him an Indian cabal, calling him corrupt, calling him a thug, calling him a spy, and involved in some kind of new rogue unit. So these statements, coupled with the allegations made against his daughter recently, have really pushed him to this point where he needs to go and file charges against the EFF's Julius Malema and Floyd Shivambu. And today, really walking up to the police station quite calmly, his lawyers were there to greet him, and he said that he was going to make a statement. It took about 15, 20, 30 minutes, and once they came out, we were then told that charges of crimen injuria, inciting public violence, as well as defamation, criminal defamation, were laid against the two leaders of the EFF. Now, we did speak to the minister outside. Once he was done laying those charges, let's hear what he had to say.
Sure.
We have decided that enough is enough. That if you want to argue with us politically, that's fine. But once you lie and you attack families and you propagate these lies widely enough, but you also start dividing South African society, then it is totally unacceptable, because race is a very inflammable factor in South Africa. At a time since Nelson Mandela, when we are trying to build one nation, we can't have people who use the kind of language that they've been using, attacks that they've been using, to divide us at the same time. So having consulted with our lawyers, so he'll give you the technical bit just now, we felt that there's a case for crimen injuria, which means you've harmed my dignity, you've harmed my person, you are also propagating hate speech as well amongst all South Africans, and that this combination of the attack on one's dignity, the attack on society more generally, propagating hate in society, has to be stopped. And we invite all South Africans to join us, to say that we're not going to believe this nonsense. We are going to support those who are fighting corruption and trying to clean up this country, because we want a decent country for black professionals as much as we want a decent country for generations to come.
Slee, was there any particular reason why the minister had singled out the leader of the EFF and his deputy to be the ones that are then, having to answer for these questions? Because we have seen quite a few of the EFF members, I think, rally together in the allegations that have been made against Gordhan.
I think he singled out those two specifically because of those statements which were made outside the State Capture Inquiry, where we heard Julius Malema calling him a dog of white monopoly capital, as well as other criticisms around the State Capture Inquiry itself. So that, I think, is what really pushed the minister in order to just single them out as the two that need to account for these statements. And also the fact that Julius Malema as well as Floyd Shivambu continue to criticize the State Capture Commission of Inquiry around where it's operating, the people that are, working in the commission. And so he's saying that this attack is a deflection. They're trying to deflect from what Ramaphosa's new administration is trying to achieve of cleaning up the country, cleaning up SOEs, and getting rid of state capture. And so I think those sentiments, coupled with the attack on his daughter, having tweeted a picture of him and his daughter and saying that, she's unduly benefiting from government contracts is really why we have both Shivambu as well as Malema singled out with these charges.
All right, Slee, let's leave it there for tonight. Slee Masikane has been tracking that particular story for us. We'll get you legal and political analysis on this particular story as Newsnight continues. And all of that, of course, is coming up after this short break. Stay with us.